Hello, VCU Ramily. It is great to see you all. My name is Linnann Yundestead, and I'm the Director of New Student and Family Programs in the Division of Student Affairs at VCU. And I am excited to welcome you back for another webinar series. Today, we're going to be meeting with my great friend, Ashlyn, and she's going to be talking with us a lot about what to expect with the academic advising experience and how to help your student be really successful as they're considering the relationship they have with the advisor, the process for advising, and really mapping out their major. So some of you may remember from new student orientation meeting with Dr. Maggie Tolan about being a Spark champion for your student. And this presentation is hopefully going to inform how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Ashlyn, and I'll be here to help with any questions that you all may have. We will also record the webinar and have it posted later for your reflection to be able to go back to it. So with no further ado, meet Ashlyn.
Good morning, everyone. So glad to see you. I am not Dr. Maggie Tolan, but I am Ashlyn Anderson, and my title at VCU is Executive Director of Academic Advising for University Academic Advising. Our office houses all first-year advising, including non-degree seeking students, pre-health students, pre-professional health students, and all undeclared students all 4 years. So welcome. Today we're going to talk a little bit about major mapping, advising, as well as student success. If there is one thing to remember, and this is my lovely colleague, Dr. Maggie Tolan, that she is truly connected to most offices at VCU as well as our advising community. So essentially our job is to be a liaison. We want your student to feel comfortable coming to our office if they're feeling like, I don't know where to go and I have a question. We are really meant to be that liaison between other offices and resources at VCU. And if they don't know where to go, a lot of times we're a great place to start. And if we can't answer that question, we know someone who can. We want you to know that you have made the right decision coming to VCU. If you look at the chart here, you'll see this is data from the NESE survey, which is talking about quality of freshman advising for VCU versus our peers. So all of these things across the bottom, including availability of our advisors, listening closely to concerns and questions, informing important deadlines, helping to understand academic rules and policies, informing academic support, providing useful information about courses, helping with academic difficulties, helping getting information on special opportunities, and discussing career interests and post-graduation plans. You'll see the black line at the top means that we are actually trending above the national average. So we're so glad that you have come here. We think it's the right decision because we are available to our students for all of these various resources. So who will advise or essentially be a school counselor type liaison for your student? So in your freshman year, you will come to our office in University Academic Advising. As you remember, and as Linnann mentioned, Maggie is a big proponent of Spark champions, and we are too. We want your students to be excited about their experience at VCU. We want them to feel a sense of belonging and connection, and that's what we're here to do. So essentially, your students will come to us as a required advising appointment so that we can make sure that they're okay and do that check-in. They will go see their major department in most cases in that second year and forward. There will always be faculty mentors, even though they don't specifically have an advising role any longer. And we're all here. It takes a village to help students, and everyone at VCU is truly contributing to that village. So why is student success so complicated these days? So, here's your onion analogy with all those multiple layers. There's a lot going on with our students. So there's all kinds of things, including identity development. So that maturation progress as students come to college and make that high school to college transition. Federal financial aid regulations, which are complicated to say the very least. Current events, what's happening in our country, what's happening locally, what's happening on a national level, student demographics, health, university policies, economics, and finance. So all of these things really truly contribute to the complicated nature of being a successful student. So the role of the VCU academic advisor is truly to monitor and help students to stay on track. We want students to graduate in 4 years. Do the Math campaign is meaning, essentially doing 15 credits each semester so that you graduate in 4 years, saving money, moving on to that next chapter in your life. And we're really here to help students stay on track and make sure that things are going well. We are that consistent go-to person. So whether it's your first year, your second year, and beyond in the department, academic advisors should be seen as that consistent go-to person about questions about VCU. Our advisors have professional training, including counseling skills. We're aware of VCU resources, community resources, and more. So again, helping to make sure that your student gets to the place that they need to be. We're versed in degree requirements of all declared majors and maybe some outside of the area. So we have particular advising teams, but we do a lot of cross-training so that if your child is declared in a certain program, and they're maybe exploratory and thinking about other options, we can talk to them about that as well. We are trained to discuss change of major for success. So if something is not working out for your student, either they don't like it or they're not being successful in a certain program, we absolutely can look at other avenues to make sure that your student is happy with what they're pursuing and that it is the right fit for them. We're also policy experts, so we have to know a lot of information. This includes making sure that we understand things such as grade repeat policies, satisfactory academic progress appeals, things that are related to financial aid and continuing at VCU. If you look at this snowball effect graphic here, early alert is essentially well before midterm. So if we see that there's potentially an issue like a student not going to class or a student who is already struggling in a course, we reach out well before midterm grades post to ensure that students know resources, campus learning center, academic advising, counseling services, to ensure that if there's something going on, we're catching it early. We are truly seeing our parents as our partners, so if you see something going on, we absolutely encourage you to reach out. We want to make sure that we're working together to make sure that students are happy and successful, and not looking at the end of the semester as that goal to measure that, but really, truly early on. So advisors are also strategic planners. So we want you to think about helping us flip the thinking to not I'm going to graduate in 4 years and get a job, but in 4 years I want to be X, and here's what I need to do each semester to help me become the best candidate for that position or graduate program. So essentially really truly planning each semester. And what helps us do that is the VCU major maps. Every program does have one of these. The website is listed here. Major maps truly include a program and a major description. So what is that program about? The college, school, the major, the campus location, 4-year sequencing map, so real true recommendations about each 4 years, recommended real world experiences. This is really helpful for students because if they're able to actually do something experiential, it really truly helps them figure out if that's the right fit for them. Flags related to barriers such as math intensity, a foreign language requirement, science labs, admission, or a change of major, and requirements, GPA, the number of courses with the grade, etc., things that are requirements for that program. Career titles, so bachelor's level reality. When you graduate with this program, here are some various careers that you could potentially matriculate to. And a 4-year career readiness guide in the matrix as well. Must-do events in that first-year map. So we absolutely tell students that they must meet with an advisor prior to October 31st to discuss any early alerts that have potentially been issued. So as we discussed in that snowball effect, things such as grades that are concerning or attendance that's concerning, that kind of thing. Please note that the withdrawal deadline is November 1st. That is the last day to withdraw for a course. The major fit and their spark. Is what they're doing exciting them? Is this something that really makes them feel motivated? And if it's not, do we need to talk about some other options? Balancing act between social, academic, and work. You know, transitioning from high school to college is not just, you know, coming to an academically rigorous campus, but it's also managing time, understanding what it's like to be a college student and how that's going. Financial planning. So balance is cleared before November for pre-registration, meaning students have to have their bill paid in order to register for the next semester. So how are they managing that? What's the cost of studying harder and effectively versus repeating a course? So is it appropriate to withdraw for a class versus utilizing resources to try to get your grade up in that course and actually finish out the semester? Mapping out goals for the semester and year and looking at the 4-year plan of study. So constantly looking at what's coming next, how to progress through the major map and through your 4 years at VCU. Tutoring is free in all subjects. I'm going to repeat that. Tutoring is free in all subjects. So we want to make sure that students are utilizing the Campus Learning Center as a resource to truly help supplement their instruction in the classroom. See if your students have supplemental instruction available for their classes. In order for this to be an impactful practice, students really need to go 3 or more sessions. So we recommend that students go as often as possible. Definitely tell them not to go right before a test, because often that is really a really full session, and it's going to be a lot more effective for them to go more regularly, again, 3 or more times. Pillar 2 is getting connected with your community. Pillar 3 is building cultural capital. So is your student researching student clubs and organizations to get involved with? Obviously, there are a lot of different areas of interest here at VCU. We actually have over 600 clubs. So it would be a great thing for your child to do a search and see what sort of areas of interest they have that may be a club or organization here at VCU. Have they met a real friend yet? Is there someone that they're going to eat lunch with? Is there someone that they walk to class with? Really feeling that sense of belonging equates to connecting with other students. If they're off campus, how do you support or encourage them to stay on campus throughout the day and attend some events at VCU? So truly feeling connected to campus and VCU, even if they're not living here, is a really important part of feeling integrated as part of the VCU family. Elections are almost upon us. Is your student registered to vote? Do they understand what that process looks like? And what can your student tell you about Richmond? Are they getting out of their room on the weekend, exploring what RVA has to offer? There's all kinds of things going on. Pillar 4 and 5, getting real experience and preparing for life after college. So again, must-do events. Is your student eligible for federal work study? If so, have they applied for a job? Did you know that students who actually work in work-study jobs are more successful academically and persist better towards graduation than those students who are encouraged to just focus on studying? They're building a connection. They're feeling more of a connection to the campus and thus feeling more invested. Career Services is ready and waiting to develop their first resume and get them registered in Handshake, which is the platform in which we post jobs, internships, and so on. Homework with you is, what can I do with this major printout? So this is a great way to start looking up entry-level jobs and really exploring what kind of skill sets need to be attained in order to be successful in a position like that. Help them print out their free credit reports. This will help understand the cost of their education, return on their investment of studying, and impact of stopping out on school, making it a real experience. So I would absolutely recommend asking your student, who is your advisor? By now, about 1/3 of all VCU students have met with their advisor. Has your student met with their advisor? To locate and make an advising appointment, you can go to My VCU or the Navigate app, click on the Advising Appointments link, and schedule through there. An advising hold will go on the account by early November if they have not met with their advisor. So after the November 1st last day to withdraw from classes, we will be applying holds shortly after that. Because we want to make sure that your student has come to see us and that we've given them recommendations and made sure that they feel that they're on track and that things are going well, so that they are staying on track and persisting towards graduation. So what should they talk about when they come see us? Things such as the College Student Inventory, which is a mindset receptivity report, meaning what are things that they're concerned about that they can disclose to us, or what are things that they're really excited about that we can help connect them to? The rigor of classes. Do they need help with time management, tutoring, writing, etc.? Therefore, we can refer them to appropriate resources, including academic coaching. How to approach and talk to faculty. So those who visit get noticed and get more support. So breaking down some of that fear about approaching faculty and making sure that they know that upon meeting with faculty, faculty do recognize that you are trying to be successful. Midterm grade notifications are currently happening. That has begun this week. Again, the withdrawal deadline is Friday, November 1st, the last day to withdraw from a class. Do they understand the final exam schedule? This can be a little confusing. We don't want a student to miss a final. So please have them reach out to us if there's any confusion. It should also be posted on their syllabus. Is their major still a fit for them? Is there something they need to talk about as far as being exploratory or looking at other options? We will absolutely review that first year major map and discuss goals. Students have disclosed to us in that CSI mindset inventory that they really want some help with goal setting. Students are interested in talking about being career ready and looking ahead. And so this is something that we're really trying to focus on because it's what they've disclosed to us that they want and need. Getting ready for spring class registration. Do they know how to look up classes for spring? Do they know that their registration date is based on the number of earned credits that they have, not what they're currently enrolled in, but their earned credits prior to coming to VCU or prior to this semester? Do they know how to actually pick and register for their classes? Should they listen to Rate My Professor? You know, this is a really big contentious topic, right? Because what one student may think is a great review of a professor for better or for worse is really truly specific and unique to that student. Do they want to change their major, and therefore might that change their track and what they would be registering for? We also absolutely want to look at credits via work, leadership, extracurricular, social schedules, looking at things that, schedules that really truly fit their lifestyle, making sure that if they're not a morning person, that we're not registering them for a super early class in the morning. FAFSA forms for 2020 are very important. These are available as of October 1st, which, if you can believe it, is almost right around the corner. The March 1st is the 2020 priority deadline for next year. We encourage you to fill out the FAFSA as soon as possible. We also talk to students about study abroad plans. Are they interested in going abroad and doing education abroad? We'll also talk about academic warning. So if a student is below a 2.0 GPA at the end of their first semester, we want them to enroll in University 102, which is Investigations and Learning. This is a support class that will absolutely help the student get back on track academically. How to come prepared for advising appointments. Students should be on time to their appointment. Unfortunately, if they are late, we will likely have to reschedule because we have such a full schedule here. Be knowledgeable about where you stand in each of your classes. So come with questions, knowing what successes you're having that you can share with us, what kind of barriers there might be that we can help with. Make a list of issues you see that might be impeding the ability to be successful at VCU. So we want to know about your students' needs for finances. Are they making friends? Are they having support from family, housing arrangements, etc.? We want students to be able to review their degree major requirements with us, and we'll also talk about courses that are suggested for the following semester. Thinking about the current semester and what times they're taking classes. As I mentioned before, are they in a really early class or a really late class, and that's not working for them and their lifestyle. We'll review the first year major map, prepare goals for next semester and next year. We'll review possible courses to use as electives, so skills that really are value added, things that could be exploratory. Maybe if you're looking at, the student is looking at other majors or adding another major or adding a minor, and career possibilities. So starting to really truly build that career map and talking about transferable skills. We absolutely hope that students at this point have downloaded the Navigate app to their phones. We're really reminding them of the important to-do items within that app. So if you'll see here, it addresses the student directly and it talks to them about all the different things that they might need to be checking in on to do. Student self-service tools, access to additional support, nudges and alerts to stay on track. So we do send prompts if there are things that need to be done. And I know that is a lot of information, but I hope it's really helpful for you. And I hope that you have gotten from this that we are a wealth of knowledge and support for students, that we want students to come see us more than once if they are feeling so inclined. We are truly here to be that guidepost and that navigation for students. So thank you so much for your time, and happy to take any questions.
All right, Ashlyn, we do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
So first of all, one of our participants asked if you would mind going back to the last slide one more time.
Absolutely.
Just so that they can have some of that information.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the question that was posed was about kind of the idea of academic balance with work. And so a family member asked if all on-campus jobs are work study.
That's a great question. All on-campus jobs, I think they are all work study. Anything that is actually connected to VCU, in most cases, they're going to be work study. So some positions are paid directly to the student. Well, I will say particularly in the summer, work study is not eligible. So if we have student workers in the summer, they are going to be paid. They're not eligible for work study. As far as during the semester, I would actually have to confer with career services about that, Leanne.
I can provide a little insight too. Okay. So not all of our jobs are work study, but many of them are. We do have a lot of work study opportunities, being such a large university with many offices who need student assistance. And so there are jobs, especially, I know rec sports is a big hire of work study students, but then there are many offices that don't require a student to have work study in order to be working on campus. So for example, they might work in a library, they might work at one of our dining facilities, or in a lot of other places on campus just as a front desk assistant or something like that. And it may not necessarily be work study. What I will say is that most of our job opportunities, whether they are work study or not, are advertised on Handshake, which is through VCU Career Services, and it's kind of a really great place for students to go to find out about opportunities all across campus. Does anyone have any additional questions they would like to ask? All right, I have one while other people might be thinking through some things. So Ashlyn, I know you talked about the various things that an academic advisor can help a student with, that it's much more than just telling them which classes to take. And so one question I have, we're often getting phone calls or emails from parents or family members who are just generally concerned about their students' well-being.
Sure.
Would you suggest that for us, an academic advisor might be a good first point of contact to direct a student to if they're just struggling in any area, whether it's academic or not?
Yeah, absolutely. So we would reach out to that student directly, try to get them in to come see us. We're also always happy to meet with a student and a parent together as long as FERPA has been filed for the student, meaning the student has given permission to the parent to have information disclosed. A lot of times we can work out some things in the office together, meaning maybe it's setting goals or maybe it's making some plans that are relevant if there's a concern academically. It could be from time to time that the student may need some counseling, and that's something that we absolutely feel comfortable physically walking the student over if they're not sure that they want to go do that on their own. We also can ensure that the parent is aware of those resources as well. we also, depending on the severity of the concern, we're very closely in contact with housing. So we often do housing referrals if we have a concern about a student, and an RA or RD will check in on the student and see how they're doing and encourage them to schedule an advising appointment to come see us. So there's a variety of things that we can do to ensure a student's safety and well-being. We can refer them to wellness resources at the Wellness Resource Center. So that's something that's not counseling, but is absolutely, a confidential place that students can go to get resources about their health and well-being, whether that's mental health, physical health, stress management, anxiety management, all of those things.
I think you brought up a really great option there, the last one, talking about the Wellness Resource Center. Many parents and families may not know this because it wasn't established yet when we had new student orientation, but the Well has just established what they call the Resilience Lab. And that the whole purpose of offering resources around resilience are to help students who may not necessarily need to go see a counselor in university counseling, but just some general resources about things like time and stress management. And so absolutely encourage your student to look into those options. And one of our family members pointed out that today is the mental health fair as well. So that's a really great option too. So another question was asked that I can tackle about whether or not this slideshow will be available for your student to access and view. And so what I will say is that we make all of our recordings of our webinars available. They're going to be posted on the family blog as well as linked on our VCU Families Facebook page. And that blog is publicly accessible by anyone. And so what I would encourage you to do once that gets posted is to share that link to the blog with your student. I do think there are a lot of resources that, even though they may have seen some of this information previously, is a really good reminder to them of things to be keeping in mind. Especially, I know a lot of the points about what they should be talking about during an advising appointment and what are the things that should be really on their mind, I think are very relevant. So definitely consider sharing that with your student. The other thing that I want to make sure I do is encourage you all, if you haven't already signed up to attend Family Weekend, it is coming up, it is upon us. It is going to be October 4th through the 6th. And hopefully by then we will have mustered up some fall weather in Richmond. As of right now, it feels like fall in the morning, and then by mid-afternoon it feels like the middle of summer, and it is so hot. So we're really hoping that within the next couple of weeks we're going to muster up some of that nice fall cooler weather for you. But we're excited to see you all on campus. Registration does close the Monday prior to Family Weekend, and so the time is running out for signing up. So we hope that you'll go ahead and make those reservations. We would love to see you. And for information about Family Weekend, you can just go to familyweekend.vcu.edu. And again, we would just love to welcome you all back to campus. We know your students will be excited to see you, especially for those of you who might be the parents or family members of first-year students. They've now had just about 6 weeks under their belt to get used to campus, to learn a little bit more about the Richmond community and all it has to offer. So by the time you get here at that 6-week mark, they're going to be ready to show you around. So we're excited to see you then. All right, and so we will have some future webinars coming up in October, so be on the lookout for those. We do promote them via our VCU Families Facebook page, as well as on the RAM Family newsletter update. That is an electronic newsletter. If you are not currently receiving it and you would like to, you can go to our website, which is just NSFP, and that's like New Student and Family Programs, nsfp.vcu.edu. And there's information about how to get added to our listserv there. I want to again thank Ashlyn for her time and all of the great information that she shared with you all. And I know that she is an excellent resource for students and for family members. So if you do have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, and have a wonderful rest of your day.